This video will help you facilitate lessons 48 and 49 of the 5th grade Excel curriculum. These lessons are connected or aligned to expressions with the first lesson, supporting students in evaluating numerical expressions. So after you complete the fluency activity, you're going to guide students through a couple of examples where they evaluate simple and more complex numerical expressions. As students jump into the example, the worksheet really guides them through how to solve this and tells them what they should do first. So as we see the expression 15 minus 5 plus 4 times 3, we see two sets of parentheses. We're going to do the operation that's in the first set of parentheses first. Then they are going to do the operation in the second set of parentheses, and then they are going to add them together. What this example does not show is a structured way for organizing their work to ensure that they can keep track of their operations and to give you a way to check their work so that you can identify their point of error should they make any mistakes. So it's going to be important for you to write on the board or to use your dot cam and model for students how to organize their work when solving this problem. So your model should look like the one I'm writing now. You're going to copy the problem as written, and you're going to follow the same steps. We see two sets of parentheses. I am going to do the operation inside of the first set. 15 minus 5 is 10. And then I'm going to write what is left. I see another set of parentheses. I'm going to do the operation inside of that parentheses next. 4 times 3 is 12. And then I'm going to write what I have left. Now I add 10 plus 12 is 22. Showing students how to set up their work is going to be critical to ensuring they are successful in this lesson and in the next lesson. So when you get to the discussion questions and students are explaining how they would evaluate this expression, it's going to be important that they set up the problem on their own paper so that they can see it, they describe what they're doing, and then they solve it using a structured way, the way you see here. This is going to be critical as they jump into this next expression, which now not only has parentheses, it has brackets. So I'm going to rewrite the expression as you should. I'm going to write it exactly the way I see it. And what we learned in the last example is still true. I always start with what's inside of the parentheses. So I'm going to do that operation first. 5 times 4 is 20. And then I'm going to bring down what I have left. Now I'm going to treat my brackets like parentheses. I'm going to do what's inside of the brackets next. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Now I'm left with a subtraction and addition problem, and I am going to solve this problem in order from left to right. 30 minus 10 is 20. Now I have a simple addition problem. 20 plus 17 is 37. Please ensure that on your dot cam or on the whiteboard, you are setting up the problem the way you see here so that students, again, are getting a strong example for how to organize their work. This will help students as they get into the try it problem. That is going to be important as you identify their point of work. And as you're checking their work, you want to ask students, what should you be doing first? How do you know? What should you be doing next? How do you know? So assess their understanding of their order of operations and which expression or operation I should be doing first. That is going to be critical as students work through their practice problems. As you jump into lesson 49, students are not evaluating expressions. We are moving into writing and interpreting numerical expressions using what they learned about evaluating expressions. So in this first expression, we are writing, or this first example, we're writing a numerical expression for the phrase subtract 6 from 10 and then multiply by 5. So students should ask themselves, what am I doing first? I am subtracting 6 from 10. And since I'm doing that first, it goes inside of parentheses. So I am subtracting 6 from 10. And that goes inside of parentheses. And then I am multiplying by 5. And that is their numerical expression. That will help them as they get into the try it problems. So if you look at the first one, 8 more than 12, this one is more simple. I'm just doing 8 more than 12. I need to ask myself, what operation is more than? That is addition. So I'm going to write 8 plus 12. I'm subtracting 5 from 6, then adding 3. I'm doing something first. That's how I know I need parentheses. So the questions that I am asking myself here, these are the questions you want to ask kids as they're working through the problems. In example B, they are given a numerical expression and they have to write it using words. Ask students orally first, what do they see? So if I look at this problem, first I am adding 7 and 2. What's happening next? Then I am dividing by 3. That's exactly what we write. I am adding 7 and 2 and then dividing by 3. That is how I write the numerical expression using words. I can use that same strategy as we jump into the discussion question to find the value of expressions. This is going to be what students work on in their practice problems. So at times they will be given an expression in words and they will have to write it using numbers. Sometimes they will be given the numerical expression and they will have to write that expression using words. The beauty of this practice problem is that there's a lot of fill in the blanks, so students should not be hindered by spelling or having to write a lot. So you'll really be able to hone in and focus on what students are doing. And so in this lesson, you just want to make sure you are always asking students, what are you doing first? What does that mean for how you write the numerical expression? Then what happens next? Using those strategies, students will be set up for success.